No better way to start the week than a little back-to-back negotiations. We could be looking at a bidding war. The company's not willing to change anything. How are you supposed to know what they want?
The role doesn't make sense for me to make the jump.
3 successful deals this month. Happy Monday and welcome to yet again another behind the scenes video of what I do every week as a recruiter working in the technology industry. This is the last week of October, and after this we only have 60 days left until the brand new year. So I hope everyone's month is going really great. I hope everyone's Q4 is really great. I had a wonderful, well-rested weekend coming into Monday with great energy, and just looking at my calendar, it is packed with tons of candidate calls, and I'm expecting it to get even more packed with a bunch of interviews. So right now, we have 3 interviews planned: an engineer interview, we have an influencer interview, as well as a program director. I hope that they go well, and just overall very excited to take you along for the ride to see what sort of fun obstacles and experiences that we will interface and overcome this week together. But if you are as excited as I am to get started, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Really means a lot and really gives me the energy to be the best that I can every single day. We're gonna be hitting software engineers hard again the second half of the week. Still waiting on 2 to 3 different clients that are finalizing and negotiating our engagement letters as we speak. So we are at capacity with all of our jobs, and I don't know how we're gonna handle all these new jobs, but we will do the best that we possibly can and provide the most value we can with the companies that are entrusting us to help them with the recruiting process. So we do have potential couple offers that are simmering, and I expect something to happen, hopefully good news, today or maybe in the next couple days. So make sure you watch till the end of the video to see how we end this week. Right now, October is going really well, but I'm hoping we can do at least 1 or 2 more offers to really make this a phenomenal month. But other than that, feeling great as always. Gonna hydrate here, and we're gonna get started and make this an awesome week. Spoke with a candidate, and guess what? We fought for him, got the offer up to 150 from 145, and he's going to freaking accept. Man, it's no better way to start the week than a little back-to-back negotiations, nail-biting experience at the beginning of the week. But we made it happen. I was a little bit nervous in the beginning, just to be completely transparent, because the offer came out significantly much lower than what I told the candidate, which doesn't make obviously us look the best light. We're in no way trying to deceive. We're in no way trying to play games here. It was really my honest opinion that they would be able to hit that 170, let alone even come close to it. So having to kind of retract and scramble, play some damage control, really reminding the candidate the big picture here of the opportunity he's looking at. What really helped me in this scenario though is that the candidate did a phenomenal job keeping himself focused on the big picture, which is something that I really do, not only in negotiations, but especially for people who are thinking about joining a smaller company when all they know are big companies. A lot of times you make that jump to early stage companies or smaller startups, the salary is not going to be what you can expect as if, for example, you stayed at your bigger company and you got a promotion. Typically, you're going to have to take a step back, but usually with that flexibility, you get so much more than you would not have usually get at working at a big company, like flexibility, wearing multiple hats, dynamic, fast-paced, agile environments, working closely with the founders, which are all important things that the candidate really wanted. So I didn't really have to do too much selling. I didn't really have to do too much reminding of the whole opportunity here. The candidate did a great job himself. He actually also got himself to be okay with that 145 number. When the offer came out to the candidate, a couple hours went by where he just really sat and just thought and absorbed everything. And even though he was shooting for that 170, somehow he processed everything and he's like, you know what? Even with this lower salary, the whole opportunity still makes sense. But then when I spoke to him, I'm like, hey, I'm in your corner too. I just want to make sure that if you're gonna make a decision, we want to just max out everything that we can do for you. So the least I could do is just go back to the founder and just ask him, can you guys just come up a little bit more? And 145 to 150, if you're a hiring manager, you're a company, that's only $5,000. That's really not that much. from a business financial point of view. But if you're on the receiving end as a candidate, 145, 150, just psychologically being able to make 150, seeing that number is going to be so much more to you than just a 5K increase from the accounting internal side of the company. So I'm really, really happy that the founder pulled through here. I was also able to reiterate to him that the market is insane. Like, this same candidate will talk to other companies that can offer him much, much more. And if he continues to stall, the candidate continues to talk to other companies, there's gonna be a bidding war, and then they're just gonna have no choice but to consider 170 or 180 if they even want to get him. So I think we were able to make this happen. The candidate was only interested in this company. Because of that, we were able to really focus and just bridging the gap together here, focus on the main points of both parties. And yeah, happy to say and happy to report that the candidate is pumped. He's excited. He's gonna be getting the official offer letter later today for him to review and sign. Once that's officially signed, it is good to go. All I have to do is just confirm that he's giving his notice at his current job and that he's relaxing and celebrating until his start date. But man, I love engineer roles. I love doing deals on a Monday, because when an offer is done, then the rest of the week is just gravy. So let's see if we can do 1, 2, we'll see how many more we can do this week. So let's keep working and pushing hard.
Just straight to the point, after a bunch of thought, unfortunately I decided that the role doesn't make sense for me to make the jump at the time.
When you and I first spoke about it, you were really pumped about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was, and you know, my feelings about sort of the role in the team haven't changed. I think, you know, it's a great opportunity, and you know, that team's doing amazing things, and it's a very cool role. After sort of getting the offer and taking a step back and letting things slow down a little bit and thinking about it, I ultimately decided that, you know, at this point in my career, making the jump to tech's sort of a pretty big jump, and
just got the opposite kind of news that I wanted. So I spoke with this candidate who, as you know, he was in process with my fintech company and they offered him 95, he wanted 115, and I still thought there was a chance of getting this done only because of how excited he was of getting out of finance, break into tech. But he had the whole weekend to think about it. I tried talking to the hiring manager on Friday, asking her, hey, can you just please hit 100? She's like, I can't guarantee anything. I will try to talk internally. I heard from her this morning that no can do. They're staying put on 95. I scheduled my chat with my candidate literally like 10 minutes ago. It's about 11:30. And then when I spoke to him, I found out that he actually had a chat with the hiring manager just earlier this morning without me knowing. And he conveyed the news to her first. So number one, you know, we like to be hands-on with the candidates, where any news that comes out, we would love to kind of be able to share that with the company. I'm not dissatisfied that he let the hiring manager know directly. That's totally fine. It's just, you know, it stinks kind of hearing about bad news last. And so I spoke with the candidate, and he had a lot of different things that he had to kind of mull over the weekend, and salary was a huge thing. It seemed like what really also didn't help the company is like the equity and how they were unwilling to be transparent or talk about that. Even though equity is, you know, speculative, like, hey, like, can you at least share what the share price or the strike price would be if I get a certain number of equity? And you know, a lot of startups actually share this information. A lot of companies don't. And I think it could also be a chance that this company is getting much bigger. They're really working up, hopefully, fingers crossed, to a successful IPO. And so, you know, when you're getting more and more established and more eyes are looking at you, you have to, I guess, tighten things up in terms of the narrative and just what you are allowed to say or can say about sensitive information about the stock price and all that. So that didn't really help at all, and them unwilling to move on the salary also didn't help at all. And I guess he went back and forth internally, and when I first spoke to him, you know, he made it clear he wanted to get out of finance, go into tech, and it seemed like he talked to a bunch of his finance buddies and maybe family members or other advisors, and it sounded like the resounding advice that he got was, hey, you know, given the nebulous nature of the company about their equity and even the low salary, it just doesn't make sense. You're probably better off staying in finance for at least a year or two, make a lot more, save a lot more, get a little bit more experience, and then you can kind of take that jump again. I get it. Like, he had a little bit of a cold feet too, like going from one industry to another. it's a big move. And he also was worried that, hey, like if I regret it, can I go back into finance? And you know, not a lot of bankers get opportunities in product and tech, but I guess if you make that jump, it's possible. But yeah, it probably wouldn't be the easiest to go back into finance once you get a product job, right? I've done this long enough where first of all, I hate getting the news. It never gets easier. I would say that when I'm younger, when I started out as a recruiter, like I would get really, really, really emotional or just angry about these roles. But at the end of the day, like that's such a selfish thing for me to do because we're just the middlemen to help someone make a big decision about their life. And our job is to not coerce, push, manipulate people. We're just here to work on their experience and to get them all the information and decisions as best as we can so that they can make the best decision for themselves. And so at the end of the call, it was clear, despite everything, even though a part of me may disagree, that he made the best decision for himself. And for that, I'm happy for him. And so like, you know, if a younger person would have gotten emotional, angry, would have started arguing or fighting back, saying, hey, how can you do this? Knowing the company and them, first of all, being unwilling to move on the salary, there's nothing I could do to re-engage this. The company's not willing to change anything. Which makes it very, very difficult, and it seems like he just wanted to be in finance. So the best I could do is do my best to stay the high ground, end the call positively, and hopefully if he ever wants to get back into tech, I'm here. I'm the guy that he can reach out to and he can kind of help with. So it still sucks, big time. I was kind of banking on this, but he was a pleasure to work with. I'm happy for him that he's going to stay in finance and hope to work with him again. And so now what I have to do is I still have one more product analyst candidate going through references. I hope that goes well, but we will continue to do outreach and source, try to find a couple other people to rebuild this pipeline so that we can hopefully come to a situation where we can do another deal again. But Tuesday, gotta offer rejection. Typically, I would also always think of ways that we can save this, but you know, saving an offer is really only possible if two sides are willing to tango, and the company unfortunately is firm and is not willing to change anything. So the only way to save this is if the candidate just woke up tomorrow and saying, I changed my mind, I accept. Like that is literally the only way, and I don't see that happening. So gonna officially close this out with the company here, but focus on the candidate that's still alive in the process and hoping we can kind of continue and rebuild. But never fun getting this kind of news, but it happens. You gotta just take the punches, and I'm just here to show everything that I go through, both the highs and lows, and just what you gotta do. Stay positive, optimistic, focus, and keep working.
Well, I like the fact that it's in an area that's kind of has a pain point that I resonate with, because I'm on the data science teams now, and then constantly we have issues with being able to share data analysis with stakeholders, and then we're limited by not being able to share with different platforms is an issue.
Are you also like late in stages with any other companies as well?
I'm in the middle stages with a couple. Yeah, one of them is it's also a startup, and then the other one's like a mid-sized company. I think it will be on the top of the interest, because it's exactly in the realm that I'm working on.
Happy Wednesday. As you just saw, just did a productive process call with a candidate that is slowly creeping towards the final round with a really successful B2B SaaS startup out of the West Coast. The company reached out to us yesterday saying, hey, we love your candidate, he's moving forward. Can you please just check in with him and try to get the most up-to-date information? And that was really the whole purpose of this call. And if you saw my previous videos, you would understand that we're all about creating and maintaining strong relationships with everyone that we work with, specifically candidates. And throughout the process, we will work very closely with them, periodically check in with them just to make sure how they're doing, if there's any way we can help, get a pulse on their other interviews and how they rank our client in terms of that, and what their target kind of salary expectations are. From this call, my candidate came off very, very positive. He is interviewing though with many other companies. They're kind of in the middle stages, so everyone, including my client, is roughly at the same interview rounds, which is a little bit nerve-wracking, which means that if everything moves forward to the offer stage, we could be looking at a bidding war. But with that said, he does rank our client near the top in terms of interest, so there's a lot we can play there. The specific product that our client is tackling is exactly what my candidate's team is experiencing. So it's a personal problem for him right now. So he's very excited about that. Because of the other interviews going on and him just, calibrating his expectations, he shifted also his salary expectations. It went from 180 to now closer to 200, which is really not surprising considering how senior he is and how much in demand he is. And so companies will have to definitely do what they can to stay competitive. Even though that my client is a Series B, they're pretty flexible for paying for the right person, can hit to maybe go a little bit higher for the right person. So that definitely makes recruiting a lot easier. But I think as of right now, everything looks great. He is set to talk to the founder on Monday and Tuesday. The only other concerns or questions he has is what can I expect from this other interview? So I responded back to the company to let them know and encourage them to reach out to my candidate, give him more information so that he knows exactly how to prep. Aside from that, just really gonna focus on, I think, business development, finance, and product today. Still have roughly 9-10 more candidate calls. Got 2 interviews today. Hopefully they go well. But yeah, this week's also going really, really well. One more thing I did want to share is the offer that we had earlier this week where the candidate verbally accepted. Just keep in mind with recruiting, when a candidate accepts, that's amazing. But that's not done yet. You're like 95% there. Things can still happen from the candidate accepting to them actually starting. So even when the candidate accepts, a couple things that they need to do would be to make sure they sign the offer letter and they officially give notice and they confirm on a start date. So he is having a discussion, I think, he had a discussion with his manager yesterday. He's having a discussion with the HR manager today, hoping that it goes smoothly and there's no negotiations or a counteroffer. And then once those are good to go and he officially gives notice and signs the offer, we just honestly have to make sure that he starts on the first day. There have been times where candidate signed the offer, the candidate gave notice, but they didn't start, either because something happened or during that process they got another offer and they decide to go elsewhere, which leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth. But stuff like that still happens. So we only get paid once a candidate starts your job with your client. That's when the invoices go out, and then typically whatever your net payment is, 15 days, 30, 45, then you'll get payment after that. So even though an offer acceptance is great, that doesn't mean we get money in our bank account that day. There's still a lot of things that can happen, and we still have to be hands-on and very conscious and watchful to make sure that everything continues smoothly so the candidate actually starts. But it seemed like he had a really positive conversation with his manager. He's going to have a positive conversation with HR, and hoping if that goes well, you're 99% there. The only thing that can stop from you getting paid here is he doesn't start. So typically 9.9 out of 10 times candidates start. For some reason, there's still candidates out there who continue to interview after accepting an offer, and that's kind of a big no-no. It's something that you really shouldn't do. You're burning a lot of bridges here, but it still happens. So we just still have to make sure we can guide this to the end. But so far so good, and gonna make this a good Wednesday. Good evening. It is almost 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. Had a great dinner, shot 2 TikTok videos, uploaded 1 YouTube, and did some emails, and just heard that our influencer marketing interview went well. But before I wrap up today, just want to share one quick thing. So as I was wrapping up just earlier, a good actually friend of mine reached out to me, and he was I first met him as a hiring manager, as a client who worked at this amazing kind of innovation hub in Manhattan. And he is this really well-accomplished marketing professional. He actually left that job, took a little break from work, and then was kind of fielding a couple different interviews. And then what I discovered today when he messaged me is he told me that he's starting a brand new company, which is super exciting. To add to that, the reason why he wanted to reach out to me is he's like, hey, I had such a great experience working with you. We hired a lot of great people at my previous job. I'm starting my brand new company right now, and I need help recruiting. So when I heard this, I felt 2 things. Number one, genuinely really excited for him. I think anyone looking to start a business, there's a whole journey that they're gonna go through, and there's really nothing quite like it. It's gonna be long, painful, but hopefully rewarding and exciting. And I'm excited to see him embark on this new adventure. But number two, my heart also goes out to him, because here I am trying to work with many different companies out there, a lot of them more established with bigger pockets, who are desperately, aggressively hiring, but are also struggling. And if you're starting a brand new startup in this market, I feel for you, because it's gonna be completely a whole nother experience than starting a startup before COVID or even 5 years ago. Right now, the market's so competitive. If big companies are struggling to hire, how do you think small companies, let alone a super early stage startup, is going to fare? So I thought of that as well. I connected with them, we had a good chat, and he needed help to kind of find a recruiter. Then I asked him, like, how big is your team? And he goes, one person, it's just him. But despite that, you know, he was still able to raise a significant seed round. I think he raised a little over $1 million, which is like really, really impressive. And he wants to move fast. And after learning about his opportunity, I found out first he's looking for a recruiter, which is totally doable. But recruiting for recruiters is also very difficult and super competitive, because everyone is looking for good recruiters to help them hit their hiring goals. So finding good recruiters is tough to do. He's looking for a sales recruiter, which is a little bit more focused. He even went so far as to willing to kind of send me a sample target companies that he really likes, he wants to target, which I really, really like a lot, as it helps us be focused. And that's all he needs help with right now. So like with everything I'm juggling right now, and we're doing our best to stay above water here, in my mind, I'm like, how can I take on a whole nother position? But you know, because it's a recruiter position, he only needs one right now, and it's super focused. I think, you know, I'll be able to maybe allocate some resources either this week or next week to just kind of do a search for him. Not only that, you know, him and I go way back, and I always appreciate his business. We were able to hire a lot of people at his previous job and really want to do what we can to kind of help him get off the ground. If you're a founder, getting the first 3 to 5 hires will be the most difficult. Typically, people would always go into their network to hire the first 3, 5, 10, maybe 20 people. But beyond that, you really, really, really need to utilize all resources, including recruiters like us, to help you scale. But for him, he doesn't really know that many recruiters in his network, and so he's willing to use a tool, a kind of an external partner like us, to help him find his first full-time hire. Right when the call was ending, you know, he was asking me what my fee is, and he was asking me, hey, like, we go way back, can we be flexible? And again, my heart goes out to him, and we really, really want to be flexible, but it's so hard because we're at a point right now where we have companies pounding our doors, needing our help, and willing to just pay a premium for our service. And we want to help everyone, and I want to be able to be as flexible as possible. But like every new hire that we take on board, every new client we take on board will take away from all the open jobs we have already. So I have to still be respectful and still take all of my other clients and their positions very seriously. So I can't really be that flexible. I'm willing to kind of do as much as I can for him so that, you know, we can help him get his team up and running. And once he kind of gets more funding and he starts bringing in revenue, then we can kind of get back to old terms. And I think he got that. So I really appreciate that. And he's just, at the end of the day, appreciate that we're able to and open-minded to kind of be willing to help him out. So it just kind of got me thinking right now that, you know, whatever size business that you're operating, it's a complete kind of minefield out there, especially the past 12, 16 months. I think things are overall stabilizing a little bit more right now. It's called a war on talent for a reason. Even before COVID, especially in tech, you got the big tech companies, the FANG, the Facebooks, Apple, Netflix, Google, Microsoft, that are just gobbling up good talent. And then really the small guys, the medium guys have to fight for what's left. And that's honestly what it feels, as gruesome as that sounds. But if you're like a team of one trying to make your first hire, man, that's tough. And so he is willing to pay market, which is great. He got $1 million in seed. He's willing, he has benefits. He is also wanting us to target New York City, which is, I think, fine right now, because I think there's a good amount of recruiting pool, sales pool in New York City that we can kind of start with. And yeah, he's willing to kind of check off all the boxes here. So good salary, definitely equity, good benefits, tons of room for growth. But the only issue is that a lot of people are gonna find joining him super risky, and it's always super difficult to be that first or second or third person. Once you have a team of 5 or 10, it's easier to join because it's okay, cool, like, you know, they got the the first 5 people in, and then now the company is bigger and more established. The perception, the optics look better. It gives candidates more ease that there is an actual business there. But if right now, if he's just a solopreneur looking for his first guy, it's gonna be, it's gonna really bank on what he can offer them, but how well he can sell the opportunity, how well we can sell the opportunity for him to get the pipeline. So I'm always up for a challenge. This is definitely going to be difficult. At least it's not like a super technical role, like an engineering role or data. So we're hoping to kind of really just make a huge impact here, have maximum impact, and help him hopefully find his first hire. And if that goes well, I'm really hoping to really strengthen the relationship and then just be with him on that ride and help him hire his second, third, fourth, sixth. So, for me, it's all about partnering and doing what we can with the small guys and then just being on that journey with them. As much as it is like fun and great working with tier 1 or established companies, I'm all about the underdog. I'm all about working with the guys who are trying to make the bet on themselves, to going to hyper growth when they're small, and I just love being a part of that story from the ground level. So I am going to send him the engagement offer letter tomorrow for him to review. Depending on how fast he sends it back, we can get started. But yeah, I mean, he sounds excited. It sounds like a really, really cool idea. I'll talk about it more once we get everything officialized. But yeah, always happy to work with small teams and small people as well. And if they can fit a service like ours in our budget, we know the value that we can bring. He came to us because he knows that we operate very fast and we deliver results, which is what he needs right now. As he raised the money and now his investors needs to see results. So yeah, just final thoughts of the day, but it's been a long day. And we also just got the signed agreement for our Airbnb for private jets that I'm gonna spend the first half of the day, or maybe the whole day tomorrow sourcing for that. They're looking for a partnerships director and a creative director. And it's super cool, and they're a huge player and they're going to hyper growth. So gonna be working on it tomorrow, but right now it's, again, 9 p.m. on a Wednesday. Still got, God knows, like 30 more calls the rest of the week, and I think 6 more interviews so far. So I am drained, I am tired. The reason why also I just worked late today is I just chose to kind of also take it easy on Monday and Tuesday evening, which is totally fine. And it's also a privilege to be able to do that. But I also remind myself, why don't do that too often? Because if I do that, then the rest of the week becomes super busy. So anyways, I made it to the end of the tunnel. Everything's looking good. Looking forward to helping out a good friend here to build his company and keeping the pipeline full and watching all the progress on all fronts. So, gonna have a good night, and we'll see you in the morning. Oh, what a Thursday. Honestly, just been working all day, focused on doing my 16 plus candidate calls and really hitting the creative director position as well as the director of partnerships for a brand new Uber of private jets, which I'm really excited about. Sourcing has gone well, outreaches and repitches have gone well. I'm expecting, hopefully, responses to happen as soon as tomorrow, and really packing next week so that we can submit candidates for the first time interviews. Other than that, we had 4 interviews today. 2 of them, unfortunately, didn't go too well. 2 of them I still have yet to hear back from. And tomorrow, we still have a jam-packed Friday, as always, with about 5 interviews, 1 client call, and about 15 candidate calls. Just earlier today, one of our favorite health tech companies out of New York, our hiring manager directly reached out to us and asked us if we might be open, have capacity to help them with a director of product position. I love working with these guys because not only are they mission driven and they're amazing at what they do, but I love working with them because they're just super specific in terms of what exactly they want, all the way to the granular details of the specific companies and the tools. So it just really makes targeting really easy. When you work with founders or hiring managers or recruiters who don't know what they want, how are you supposed to know what they want? And it gives you a really tough time, and you just have to guess through feedback of interviews, and it's just time consuming and wasting everyone's time. So I always love working with companies who have a crystal idea of their ideal persona. And if you're working with people and you're trying to figure it out, make sure you ask as many questions as you can so that you can walk away from that conversation with as clear of a persona that you can target. Because if you don't do that well, then you're gonna leave that conversation with still a bunch of question marks, and you're gonna have a hard time sourcing and targeting this position. Back to this client, they're gonna talk about this a little bit more internally and then send me the job rec. I'll jump on a phone call with them next week to pick this up officially, and hopefully we can get this started. It's super senior, super high salary, and you know what that means? That means it could potentially be an amazing commission. So I'm just wrapping up my day. It's almost 6 p.m. Just finished a YouTube video right now. Everything is going really, really well. Have a couple more interviews and just gonna really do my best to recharge and take it easy. For some reason, I'm just honestly really feeling it this week. Really tired, feeling it in my eyes, feeling it in my head. And so the great thing is it's already Thursday evening. Just have one more day to finish, and then I can recharge, decompress, and stay zen over the weekend. So one more push, got a delicious dinner to make. Gonna take it easy, but so far, good Thursday. Looking forward to Friday. Let's keep it going. Happy Friday. It is now 3:30, yet again coming up to another end of another great Friday. Really been focused on sourcing a lot today. For some crazy reason, I also had so many candidate calls. I think I had like 16 today, which is definitely on the high end for sure in terms of my voice. We also had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidate interviews. Hopefully they went well across a lot of different roles, from design to HR to engineering. We also picked up 2 brand new clients again. Actually, one is a client we worked with before, our favorite ad tech company. They're re-engaging us again with a director of search, associate director of search, as well as a VP of paid media. These guys have an incredible office in New York City. They can pay competitive. They can pay market competitive now. We went back and forth, and I told them that the bands that we were working off of last time were a little bit on the lower end, and if they can, wiggle that a little bit more, that would definitely help a lot with helping us really find the best talent for them and making sure the pipeline's strong. And they were open and receptive, so I'm really happy because that's going to make our jobs a lot easier and send them a lot more people. And then we also got on the phone with a brand new fintech company actually in the West Coast. These guys are massive, almost 1,000 people, and really need help with really good product designers from junior, mid, senior, all the way to staff. These guys can also pay really well, amazing founders, amazing culture, fully remote. So gonna be finalizing the agreement with them and then getting started next week, which I'm really excited about. Other than that, we just have no updates with this other product analyst. She's been stuck in like this references limbo. It seems like the company's having a tough time contacting their references. References aren't getting back to them, so I had to contact the candidate to have to then respond, who then had to reach out to her references to see if we can get any more like emails or contact availabilities that we can send out to the company. And if that's the case, as a plan B, I asked also the candidate if she can provide 2 additional references just in case like these original references don't work out. We just want to make sure with plan B. The worst thing that you can do right now is to make like the last stages, especially the references, to just keep going on and on and on. At the references, things are looking pretty good. A lot needs to go wrong right now for this deal not to happen. And this candidate is really busy with personal stuff, so it takes a while for her to get back to the company, and even for me, which doesn't help her. I know the company is like super eager to just get this over and done with and get through the references, but literally it's taken all week. And it's gotten to a point where, the company is getting past the whole honeymoon phase, starting to get concerned if something's really an issue here, if the candidate's not taking them seriously. Why is it taking so long? Or why is it so hard to get in touch with references? And so after kind of feeling that out a little bit, it's my job to kind of go back to the company saying, hey, everything's okay. She's excited. She's just really busy. I apologize for the delay. But then when I reach out to Ken, I'm like, please, like you have to do what you can, operate with a sense of urgency, because we do not want to now hurt your candidacy because this is taking so long. So that's what I've been kind of battling with this like entire week. I hope it goes well. We've already lost one. I would hate to lose this one. And so far, yeah, it's just been a really good day. Aside from that, talking to really good program directors, product managers, even great product designers. So we're really submitting a lot of great people today, which is fantastic. Got 2 more calls left. Got a video call with my media team, which is gonna be exciting. And then yeah, just wrapping this up, and man, I'm feeling it today. So looking forward to kind of wrapping this up officially with you in a bit. All right, this concludes yet again another exciting week of what I do every single day as a recruiter. As most of you know, my inspiration to show these videos is to show all the highs and all the lows in the most transparent ways. It doesn't matter if you're a solo recruiter or you're a recruiting manager at an agency of a small team. If you're hands-on, for the most part, most of your days will look the same. You would have to constantly think about juggling the pipeline of candidates with the pipelines of clients. You had to juggle and overcome really crazy obstacles and drama and politics, negotiations, or just candidates or hiring managers ghosting on you. Anything can happen, which is why recruiting can be so stressful, but at the same time, really exciting and also really, really rewarding. This has been a crazy year, and I have to say I'm feeling really good that we finished October on a very solid note. This is the last full month, really before the holidays kick in next month for all of my American friends for Thanksgiving, and of course Christmas and New Year's coming in. Things will typically slow down, but not that much. I'm expecting to at least do a good handful more deals before New Year's, just the way things are going right now, which is absolutely insane. As you saw earlier, we were able to pick up a couple brand new clients, re-engage with old clients, have a lot of new open positions and recs that we have to attack next week, which is going to be the main focus. Unfortunately, we did also lose a product analyst position. I honestly felt like we could have resuscitated this, we could have re-engaged this if the company was willing to make concessions on their end. But because they were firm, there is only so much we can do. Really, up until that point, we thought it would have been possible. We thought that there would be more wiggle room on the salary, more wiggle room on the equity, but lo and behold, can't change much. And really, it came to a point where we just had to have faith that maybe the candidate woke up one day and he's like, Preston, I want this job instead. But that didn't happen. So that fell through on positive terms though, still have a really good relationship with them. And we're also still waiting for this other product analyst that's just, it's stuck in reference hell and limbo, and I just don't know what's going on. And we're doing our best to kind of push, but it honestly feels like it's like a marble in maple syrup or honey that's just like moving super slowly. So honestly, I'm feeling really good, but just the fact that references took over a week long and still not done, it's honestly giving me a little sign of concern. So I'm gonna have to really be aware of this coming to next week and really just being high touch here. But with that said, I'm sure you're really interested. We were able to do 3 successful deals this month. We did a growth marketing manager position, salary $90,000, fee percentage 20%. We're taking home $18,000 for that. Not too shabby. We also did an engineer with our favorite clean tech startup. The final salary was $150,000, 20% here again, $30,000 taken home. And one of our first deals we did this month was a director of operations / facilities, $115,000, 18%. And we're taking home $20,700. In total, that is coming out to $68,700, which is an amazing job to all the work that we've done, to all our teams, to all our partners. Again, seeing these numbers was my dream. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. Doesn't matter if you're recruiting in tech, legal, finance, whatever industry that you're in. I just honestly want to show all the highs and all the lows, but also the fact that whatever happens, I'm just showing up every day and every week, doing the same thing, staying positive, staying optimistic, and keep putting that value in, keep building those strong relationships, because if you can, I promise you it will snowball. These numbers like this will no longer be a fantasy, it will become your reality. And I would have laughed if you told me that I would have been able to end months with this kind of result. I would have thought you're crazy, because not too long ago, there were many months where I made zero. There are many weeks I made zero. There are many times I thought about quitting and talking to myself internally in my head, like, why am I doing this? You're so crazy. Like, go just get a stable job somewhere. But if you put your cards and you bet on yourself and you stay positive and you be smart, you work smart, but you also work hard, over time it will become, and it can evolve into something just out of this world that you would never have expected. So in this business, because we're paid on commission and not by salary, we never take anything for granted. Just because you do a great month doesn't mean the next month will be great, doesn't mean the next year will be great. So we have to always make sure we're on peak performance, we take care of our health, we also stay sane, and we also really use our time off on the weekends, vacation, to be able to recharge. Because this job, even though I think it's one of the best jobs you can do right now, it can also just really be hard. And this goes for any sales jobs, or really any jobs for that matter. Self-care is really important, and just make sure that you take care of yourself so that you can keep performing well. But beyond that, as you know, I love making these videos. I love even more when you reach out. I'm just here trying my best and just take you along for the ride. So if you have any other questions, if you want to see anything else about what I do every single day, any more specific inquiries about recruiting, running your own agency, being an entrepreneur, a small business, or tech, just let me know. I will do what I can to kind of get back to you as much as possible. Also, don't forget that if you're interested, go to the description box below, click on that link. You'll see our open positions in real time. So if you're interested, feel free to apply. If you know of someone else who might be interested, have them apply. We also have an incredible referral program where we would pay up to $10,000 for the introduction to the right person. If you're also a recruiter with a great track record, with an agency background, or you're working for yourself and you want to partner with us, or you want to look for something part-time that can grow into full-time, if you have a great track record, of working volume, but also billing at a consistent high performance level, we would love to talk to you. It doesn't matter if you're specialized in tech or engineering or marketing or ops or facilities, HR, legal, we would love to talk to you and just find a way to create a partnership with you so that we can all help each other out. I love meeting other recruiters. We all do the same thing. Our job's super hard. So the more we can focus on collaborating instead of competing, that's what I'm all about. Other than that, if you are excited for the last 60 days of this year and you want to finish November, you want to finish December off with a bang, please consider liking, subscribing, clicking that bell. Really means a lot. Really make me feel energized to come back again next week and crush it with you all. And all I want is nothing more than for everyone to accomplish it. If you also had a great month and you also had a great week and you accomplished a goal, please share it down below. We'll love to hear it. We're all in this together. But guys, thank you so much again. Gonna wrap up this video, gonna wrap up this day with one more call with the team, couple more emails, and then gonna really enjoy my weekend and get ready for a new week and a new month to do it all over again. So thank you, appreciate you all. We'll see you on the next one.